Hello, hello. It is I, Jihei. We are here. We are ready to clown Fiesta. It is stream day. Yay! Hello, Blue Blue. Oh, yes, I hydrated. Hello, Astro. Welcome, welcome. I'm really excited for today. We're going to do another lore dive. And just like last week over the weekend, I will be recording slightly crisper versions of the readings. And so you'll be able to find the lore narrated on my stream, on my YouTube channel after the fact, and just generally also be able to find a VOD of this stream. So there should be lots of really cool stuff. I'm really getting into this Leaguestrom business. Leaguestrom. And today's someone a bit different. So we've moved on from Rise. We learned all about Rise last week. And today we're going to learn about a new champion. And with a new champion, a new region. So we're going to go through broadly region by region. And then just the kind of regionless champions or less region connected champions we'll put in where that makes most sense. So today is Diana. Which means we're going to Targon. It's going to be very exciting. If you don't know anything about League, welcome to my stream. In today's stream, we will be doing League for Noobs. You don't need to know a single thing about the League of Legends, the League of Legos, in order to participate in this stream. In fact, I'll be honest, if you know a lot about it, it's probably going to be pretty dull for you because it's going to just be me reading through the lore and making sarcastic and pithy comments whenever it suits me. Pithy and pissy at this point, to be honest, because I'm in a grump. Last week we discovered that Rise, in some versions of his lore, believes that everyone must die. And in other versions of his lore is like, oh, lady, I must make you live against your will. So we made some choices. Okay, Kat, seriously? Are you going to have a fight on stream? If so, I should, make it pay-per-view. Come on. She's watching him. She's like, this is my box now. I own this town. I'm gonna wiggle my nub. That's what she's saying. And we should just have a whole stream where I just watch the cats. That'd be kick-ass. I wonder if I just set up my cat cam pointing at them while I'm asleep and stuff and just had it running on Twitch if I would make any money or fans. Would people tune in to a random 24-hour cat cam of my cats being numpties? I feel like there probably would be some people who would. That would definitely be a thing, right? Okay, little stretch done. We do need to do some League today. I can't talk about my cats all day. Crazy. Okay, so let me start by hang on, this is messed up. I messed up, guys, I messed up real bad. Oh no, I put everything in the wrong place. Oh, I'm royally forked. It's fine, guys. It's fine. It's fine. I wanted it to look like this. You guys can't see my face right now, but it's definitely the face of a liar. Liar, liar, liar. Okay. That. What the heck? What the heckin' heck? What are you doing, cat? Hey, get off. No, bad cat. Hey, everyone must die. See, if Rise was here, we wouldn't have these problems. Rise would fix it. Rise would be like, what's up with this? And it would just be fixed. Fixed. Uh-oh. Guys, I think I did a bad thing. If I did a bad thing, would you hate me? Chat, would you hate me? Would you hate me, chat? It's okay, I fixed it. I didn't do it. I mean, I didn't do it. Classy, classy. Okay. It's okay, guys. It's okay. I know you guys were worried about it, but it's okay. Here we go. Yes. Yes. We are in Runeterra now. We are ready. Body is ready. Yes. Okay, so as usual, while we're doing these streams, it will be mostly me having sarcastic and silly comments, as I said, but I will also be in my Discord server where those people who stream with me are able to hop in and join if it's ever a champion who is super relevant or interesting to them. For a couple of the champions, I already have people booked in who need to be here on stream with me. It just needs to happen. For most of them, though, you get my beautiful sparkling company, which I hope you are all very, very hype about, of course. So starting off today, we're going to take a look at Runeterra. So Runeterra is the world that League of Legends takes place in. It's also the world for games like TFT, which is League of Legends like adjacent, and also Legends of Runeterra, clues in the name, I guess. And it's also going to be the setting for the new MMO. A lot of people seem to think the new MMO is going to be all about the main champions. I feel like a lot of people don't really understand how MMOs work. But okay. Yeah. But this is Runeterra. That's actually really annoying. I should probably stop doing that for you guys. Such a child. Okay, I gotta stop being annoying now. So in Runeterra, we have some different regions that we're going to explore. So we actually already talked last time briefly a little bit about Freljord because we were here, right, with Everyone Must Die. And we also talked a little bit about Shurima because in the comic, we were in Shurima for a bit. Okay, so there's some other regions that you guys might be familiar with. Anyone who's come in from Arcane will already be familiar with Piltover and Zorn. Okay, dual city-states. And you probably will be familiar with Noxus if you're fairly new, because Noxus is the current theme region for League of Legends. So the new setup they have, it's also going to be the new TV thing. Then we also have some other regions. So we have Demacia, we have Bilgewater, we have the Shadow Isles, we have Ixtal? I actually don't know how to say this one. That's terrible. And Ionia. And we're going to come back to these ones at varying points and we'll learn a little bit more about them. They all have kind of archetypes to the place that they are. It's all very standard fantasy archetypes, so you're not going to have anything earth-shattering coming from any of them. I would say Piltover and Zorn are the closest to falling away from normal fantasy tropes. And then here is where we're going. So this is Targon, and all it tells us is that it's the sprawling western mountains. So it's next to Shurima on this main continent down here. Okay, but we don't know much more about it just yet. But just geographically, to give you some context, it's the mountains attached to the west of Shurima. Okay, and pretty interestingly, if we zoom in on Targon, we can find out a bit more. So Targon itself is a tribal theocracy. So we're talking beliefs, we're talking spiritual leadership, and we're talking tribes, which is going to be pretty interesting to look into. The low level of technology, magic is positive, but it's a pretty harsh environment. Okay, so to give the context, technology isn't so much a thing, but magic very much is important. Okay. A mountainous and sparsely inhabited region to the west of Shurima, Targon boasts the tallest peak in Runeterra. Nice. Located far from civilization, Mount Targon is all but impossible to reach, save by the most determined pilgrims chasing some soul-deep yearning to reach its summit. Those hardy few who survive the climb return haunted and empty or changed beyond all recognition. Okay. We're going to come across quite a lot of things here that are relevant to us. So, first of all, architecture. We're going to have the caverns of stone. We're going to see these in a video later, and it creates some shelters, okay? We've got these kinds of chiseled into the mountains places. So this is feeling very much like Petra, right? It's actually chiseled into the mountains. This artwork is beautiful. Sorry, it's distractingly beautiful. So the record have used the mountains to create these natural shelters, making things much easier in a harsh environment. Remember, we're talking low-tech, harsh environment, so they've got to do something to do it. Okay. And then we have the Solari Temple, which obviously is going to use the gold and orange kind of themes. And the prayer shrine. Lots of this very, very classic sort of carved stone fantasy trope. It's really, really beautiful. It's, again, reinforcing the whole low tech, high magic, making the most of it, okay? Doing what we can. And the people who carved this out, okay, these are worshippers of the sun's light, okay? And then there's the opposite of the Solari, which are the Lunari, and they worship the light of the moon, okay? So what you've got to see is that solar worship is like the mainstream, okay? And the heretics are the ones who worship the kind of moon. Okay. Again, thematically, Solari are using lots of oranges, reds, sun tones, lots of gilding onto even weaponry to try and make it kind of match that worship of the sun. And we're going to see with the Lunari, right, that actually the Lunari, they have much more purplies and blues and traditionally kind of moon type colors. Okay, and they are using stone rather than the gilding for the sun imitation. So really, again, leaning into the sun and the moon motifs, because we're talking about theocracy. We're talking about people whose beliefs form their governance. Okay, and yeah, pretty primitive technological society. Nothing super advanced happening here. That doesn't mean they're not functional, but still heavy basis in religion and faith, spirituality and magic. Low tolerance into the into tech. Pretty dangerous environment as well. When you have a low tech environment, they haven't cleared it of the dangerous animals, so a lot of these things are far bigger than a human and are likely to cause quite a lot of damage, so you need to be able to protect yourselves from these things. Okay. Still things that can be used for farming and things like that though. So we've still got production. Look at that. It's like a giant goat. That's crazy. But look how big all these things are. That must be terrifying. You wouldn't want to bump into one of them on a dark night, would you? Okay. And then in Mount Targon. Okay. there's different regions, okay? And they have different like risks and hazards associated with them. So if you're trying to go up the mountain, there are some parts that are going to be easier to get than others, right? Okay, we're giving context. It's a very high mountain. We're going to have snow. We're going to have poor weather at the top. But this is what I wanted to show you guys. Look how cool the peak of Targon looks. Yeah, it has its perks. Look at this, guys. This is beautiful. This is gorgeous. And I like the aurora that they've given it as well. This is pretty much playing into a lot of Earth beliefs, right? Tall mountains close to gods, pretty standard Earth beliefs. Pretty interesting, I think. So this is Targon. It's these mountains. It's really important for the lore of the characters here that we're aware mostly of the tribal theocracy element. So religion is going to trump all, okay? Those beliefs are going to be relevant and important to people's stories. You need to understand just how important that kind of spirituality is to people. And on that note, let's take a look now at Targon. Okay. Mount Targon is the mightiest peak in Runeterra, a towering peak of sun-baked rock and a range of summits unmatched in scale anywhere else in the world. Located far from civilization, Mount Targon is utterly remote and all but impossible to reach, save by the most determined seeker. Many legends cling to Mount Targon, and like any place of myth, it is a beacon to dreamers, madmen, and questers of adventure. Some of these brave souls attempt to scale the impossible mountain, perhaps seeking wisdom or enlightenment, perhaps chasing glory or some soul-deep yearning to witness its summit. The ascent is all but impossible, and those hardy few who somehow reach the top almost never speak of what they have seen. Some return with a haunted, empty look in their eyes. Others changed beyond all recognition, imbued by an aspect of unearthly, inhuman power with a destiny few mortals can comprehend. I'm too busy for bullying today. Sorry. Okay, so this is Targon. We've already established it's harsh. And we're going to be looking at a lot of champions when we go through Targon. So we're going to have the wonderful Aphelios. I'm really looking forward to doing Aphelios's. Aurelian Sol we're going to be doing in Targon. Diana is who we're going to be looking at today. Leona is going to be super relevant. Pantheon is going to come up. Soraka is going to come up. Tariq is going to come up. And Zoe is going to come up. So it's a pretty interesting mix, to be honest. A lot of the regions I don't feel have quite such an interesting mix as Targon. So that's something I'm excited about for going through. Okay. And I just want to remind you, we're looking at a really quite harsh environment. Okay. We're talking about people who are very, very religious. Okay. So home of the Rakor. Targon is a sprawling mountainous region whose people are both resourceful and devout. Around the mountain. For the Rakor who choose to dwell closest to Mount Targon, life is an unending pilgrimage, following the sun as the seasons change, as they migrate between the solstices to remain in its heavenly light all year round. So basically, these people move from the different locations around the mountain as the year goes round to follow the sun. They're very devoted. They're keeping a very simple life, almost by choice, right? When you don't settle, it makes it very hard for you to advance. The vaulted road. The oldest paths through the mountains are marked by ancient gateways of glittering metal, the largest of which have come to mark the end of each phase of the Rakor's migration. So, you know, again, very symbolic. This isn't about practicality. This is about symbolism for them. 4 seasons. Okay, so this is funny because in Korea, people are very proud of the fact they have 4 seasons here. In the low flying, A low-flying valley sounds like a very terrifying prospect. I don't want my valleys flying. That sounds like a really bad idea. In the low-lying valleys, the Rakor can easily hunt and forage, grow crops, and tend their herds. For the shepherds leading their flocks to graze on the mountain slopes, it's sometimes easy to overlook the strange patterns that seem to flow outward through the rock from Mount Targon. Interesting. Some wonderful geology happening. Written in stone, some Rakor now believe these otherworldly shapes were once part of a great map depicting unknown realms beyond the heavens. Ooh. Among the tallest peaks, bitter winds and perilous snows overcome the seasons, creating an everlasting winter. This is beautiful. Honestly, though, look at this peak. The skies around Mount Targon shimmer with celestial majesty. It's just so beautiful. Hopefully we're getting the gist now. I feel like we're ready to dive in. So we're going to watch a very short cinematic relating to Targon, and then we're going to dive into the meat and potatoes of today's stream. The wonderful, wonderful Diana.
The prisoner! She's gone!
The Solari will be here soon.
And the Lunari already are. I've seen this before. A vision in the pools. When the moon blocks the sun, our path to freedom will be illuminated. At Dragon's Roost.
I won't let them tear us apart, no matter the cost.
It's almost time.
There's no path. What do we do?
Have faith.
There she is! And him? Traitor!
Wait!
Lyra!
Night and day are just two halves.
Of the same circle.
Do you see it now? Our path. Together.
Oh, she mad.
Have faith.
That was kind of cool. Riot did, in fact, kind of cook with that one. You are correct, Astral. Okay, so we're getting star-crossed lovers. I do feel like Riot loved the star-crossed lovers trope, right? Am I wrong there? It does feel like there's a lot of star-crossed lovers in League. No? Is that just me? I feel like it's not just me. I feel like that is valid. That is a valid thing. They really do. But yeah, we're getting the idea. There are two groups of people who actually have a lot more in common than they would believe, who are really very divided on faith alone, on a religious belief. A religious belief is dividing them. And so let's now go in and learn a bit about Diana. I mentioned last time that all of the lead characters have like fantasy style titles. They tell you pretty much a lot about them. So hers is Scorn of the Moon, which is, I will admit, a little bit less revealing than the Rune Mage was, but still gives you a bit of a gist where we're going with this. So let's take a look. I am the light coursing in the soul of the moon. Bearing her crescent moonblade and clad in shimmering armor, the color of winter snow at night, Diana is a living embodiment of the silver moon's power, imbued with the essence of an aspect from beyond Targon's towering summit. Diana is no longer wholly human and struggles to understand her power and purpose in this world. I don't know what an aspect is. Astral, does it matter that I don't know what an aspect is yet? Will I learn in the story? Will I learn in her biography what an aspect is? I hope so. I hope so. We're going to come back to the game info later. Hopefully this stream, maybe next stream. Targon, we've already looked at the region. We know quite a lot about Mount Targon now. She's a fighter. Okay, so she is connected to some champions pretty closely, in fact. So Leona, very, very closely. So Leona is the character we saw in that video, and you're going to learn a lot about her connection to Leona today. She's also connected to Tarek and Zoe. Okay. So we're going to start, as always, with the biographies and their stories. So, Diana, Scorn of the Moon. It's time for me to read you. So are we all settled in, everyone? I've never actually read Diana's Law. So this one is new to me too. Okay. I'm excited. I hope you are. Diana, Scorn of the Moon. Diana did not belong on Mount Targon. A group of Solari hunters discovered her swaddled between her frost-claimed parents. Strangers to this land, who had clearly travelled a long way. The hunters brought her to their temple, dedicated her, and raised her as a member of the tribes of the Last Sun, known to many as the Rakor. Like all of the Solari faith, she underwent rigorous physical and religious training. However, unlike others, Diana was determined to understand why the Solari act the way they do, and the reasoning behind their beliefs. She spent her evenings digging through the libraries, devouring texts with only pale moonlight to read by. Paradoxically, this pursuit provided more questions than answers, and her teachers' aphoristic replies did little to sate her inquisitive mind. When Diana began to notice tomes had whole chapters torn from them, and all references to the moon seemed missing, the teachers assigned harsh punishments, intending to exhaust her into devotion. Likewise, her fellow acolytes distanced themselves from her and her questioning. There was one shining beacon in these years of confused, frustrated isolation. Leona. The most devout of Diana's peers, they often found themselves in impassioned debate. Though one never swayed the other in their long and frequent conversations, they developed a close friendship. Then, one glorious night, Diana discovered a hidden alcove deep within the mountain. Moonlight spilled against its walls, revealing imagery of the sun, of soldiers armed in gold alongside silver-clad warriors, and matching imagery of the moon atop Targon's greatest peak. Delighted, Diana raced to share this clear message with Leona. The sun and moon were not enemies, after all. Leona did not react with joy. She urged Diana to put this heresy from her mind entirely, warning of the punishments that may befall her if she were to voice such thoughts to others. Diana had never seen her serious friend quite so grave. Frustration gnawed at her. She had reached the end of the Solari's knowledge, yet not even Leona would take this new discovery into account. What were the Solari hiding? Increasingly, Diana felt certain there was only one place she could go for answers: the top of Mount Targon. The climb tested her in every way imaginable, and time seemed to stand still as she scaled the peak. To survive, she focused her thoughts on her lone companion and the answers that would make the Solari better, more whole. The summit greeted her with the brightest, fullest moon she'd ever seen. After a rapturous moment, a pillar of moonlight slammed into her, and she felt a presence taking hold of her, sharing glimpses of the past and of another Rakor faith called the Lunary. Diana realized this presence could only be one of the legendary aspects, and she had been chosen as its host. When the light dissipated, her mind was again her own. Diana found herself clad in armor, holding a crescent blade, and hair, once dark hair, now gleaming silver. She turned to find she was not alone. Leona stood at her side, similarly bedecked in shining golden battleplate, a sunbreak-bright shield and sword in her hands. Diana was overjoyed to share in this revelatory moment with her friend, but Leona thought only of returning to the Solari. Diana begged her not to, desperate that they face this new future together. But Leona refused, and their disagreement quickly turned into a titanic battle, erupting with moonlight and sunfire. Fearful of losing herself to the aspect's power, Diana ultimately fled down the mountain. But vindicated in her search, she felt more certain than ever that she had been right to question the Solari's teachings. It was time to confront them and show the error of their ways. Pushing past their Rahorak guardians, Diana burst into the chambers of the high priests. They listened with mounting horror as she told of what she had learned of the Lunary, and that they denounced her as a heretic, a blasphemer, and a peddler of false gods. Rage filled Diana, amplified by the aspect within, and she embraced it in a terrible burst of moonlight. Startled, she fled the temple, leaving a trail of death in her wake. Now, driven by half-remembered visions and glimpses of ancient knowledge, Diana clings to the only truth she knows for certain, that the Lunary and the Solari need not be foes, and that there is a greater purpose for her than to be a Solari acolyte of Mount Targon. And though that destiny remains unclear, Diana will seek it out, whatever the cost. So, we've talked a bit about how League lore is very entrenched in classic fantasy lore, right? Well, this is a prime example of the friends on the opposite sides who are still friends, but then something pushes one of them in a direction that's too extreme for the other to be able to make peace with, and they lose each other. That's like a pretty common kind of fantasy story plot. It's pretty good. It's pretty good, pretty interesting though. I like the sun and the moon. Sun and the moon are really common theocratic elements in tribal people, so making it that does make a lot of sense. All in all, I'd say I find less plot holy weirdness so far to their lore than I do with Rise, but it's also feeling a bit more meh to me. But we'll see. We'll see where this goes. We'll see where this goes. So as we've mentioned before, as well as the champion biography, there's also usually a champion story, at least one. And in this case, it's called Knight's Work. And hopefully we'll get to find out a bit more about Diana. I feel like the problem is she seems a little meh. Like, there's nothing about her that's really enticed me into learning about her, right? She was a slightly precocious kid who got given some superpowers is all we really know so far. I think if I know more about her or more something she's done, I might get more invested, perhaps. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe Diana is supposed to be a very simple character and I'm looking for complexity that doesn't need to exist. I do have a habit of really being attracted to unnecessarily overly complicated characters. So let's have a look then at Knight's Work. Oh, I did have one interesting point, which is that it seems weird that Leona didn't even try to kind of see her side. Like, allegedly they were these friends, right? I feel like there was an opportunity there for Leona to have had a moment, a crisis of confidence, and then stiffened her resolve, right? I feel like that's, especially because she must have had some similar revelations coming her way, surely, with her aspect. I don't know. Maybe we'll learn more when we read Leona's part. Maybe Leona's side will make it all so much clearer, perhaps. Knight's Work. Night had always been Diana's favorite time, even as a child. It had been that way since she was old enough to scramble over the walls of the Solari Temple and watch the moon traverse the vault of stars. She looked up through the dense forest canopy, her violet eyes scanning for the silver moon, but seeing only its diffuse glow through the thick clouds and dark branches. The trees were pressing in, black and moss-covered, their branches like crooked limbs reaching for the sky. She could no longer see the path, her route forward obscured by rank weeds and grasping briars. Wind-blown thorns scraped the curved plates of her armor, and Diana closed her eyes as she felt a memory stir within her. A memory, yes, but not her own. This was something else, something drawn from the fractured recollections of the celestial essence that shared her flesh. When she opened her eyes, a shimmering image of a forest overlaid the close-packed trees before her. She saw the same trees, but from a different time, from when they were young and fruitful, and the path between them was dappled with light and edged with wildflowers. Raised in the harsh environs of Mount Targon, Diana had never seen a forest like this. She knew what she was seeing was an echo of the past, but the scents of honeysuckle and jasmine were as real as anything she had experienced. "Thank you," she whispered, following the spectral outline of the ancient path. It led Diana through overgrown and withered trees that ought to have been long dead. It climbed the slopes of rocky highlands and passed through the stands of twisted pine and wild fir. It crossed the tumbling mountain streams and wound its way around sheer slopes before bringing her to a rocky plateau overlooking a vast lake of cold, dark water. At the center of the plateau was a circle of towering stones, each carved with looping spirals and curving sigils. On every stone, Diana saw the same rune that shimmered upon her forehead and knew she had reached her destination. Her skin tingled with a sense of febrile anticipation, a sensation she had come to associate with wild and dangerous magic. Wary now, she approached the circle, eyes scanning for threats. Diana saw nothing, but she knew something was there, something utterly hostile and yet somehow familiar. Diana moved to the center of the circle and drew her sword. Its crescent blade glittered like diamond in the wan moonlight, penetrating the clouds. She knelt with her head bowed, the blade's tip resting on the ground, its quillions at her cheeks. She felt them before she saw them. A sudden drop in pressure, a roar charged the air. Diana surged to her feet as the spaces between the stones split apart. The air buckled, and a trio of screeching beasts charged her with ferocious speed. Ivory flesh, bone-white carapaces of segmented armor and steel talons. Terrors. Diana dived beneath a snapping jaw filled with teeth like polished ebony, slashing her sword in an overhead arc that clove the first monster's skull to its heavy shoulders. The creature fell, its flesh instantly unraveling. She rolled to her feet as the others circled like pack hunters, now wary of her gleaming blade. The creature she had killed now resembled a pool of bubbling tar. They came at her again, one from each side. Their flesh was already darkening to a bruised purple, hissing in this world's hostile atmosphere. Diana leapt over the leftmost beast and swung her sword in a crescent arc towards its neck plates. She yelled one of the Lunari's holy words, and incandescent light blazed from the blade. The beast blew apart from the inside, gobbets of newly wrought flesh disintegrating before the boom blade's power. She landed and swayed aside from the last beast's attack. Not fast enough. Razored talons punched through the steel of her pauldrons and dragged her around. The beast's chest split apart, revealing a glutinous mass of sense organs and hooked teeth. It bit into the meat of her shoulder, and Diana screamed as numbing cold spread from the wound. She spun her sword, holding the grip like a dagger, and rammed it into the beast's body. It screeched, relinquishing its grip, relinquishing its hold. Steaming black ichor poured from its ruptured body. Diana spun away, biting down on the pain racing around her body. She held her moonblade out to the side as the clouds began to thin. The beast had tasted her blood and hissed with predatory hunger. Its armored form was now entirely gloss black and venomous purple. Bladed arms unfolded and remade themselves in a fan of hooks and talons. Unnatural flesh flowed like wax to seal the awful wound her blade had ripped. The essence within Diana surged. It filled her thoughts with undying hatred from a distant epoch. She glimpsed ancient battles so terrible that entire worlds had been lost in the fires of their waging. A war that had almost unmade this very world, and still might. The creature charged Diana, its body rippling with raw power of another realm of existence. Clouds parted, and a brilliant shaft of silver speared downwards. Diana's sword drank in the radiance of distant moons, and light burned along its edge. She brought it down in an executioner's arc, cleaving plated bone and woven flesh with the power of the night's illumination. The beast came apart in an explosive detonation of light, its body utterly unmade by her blow. Its flesh melted into the night, leaving Diana alone on the plateau, her chest heaving with exertion as the power she had joined with on the mountain withdrew to the far reaches of her flesh. She blinked away the after-images of a city that echoed with emptiness where once it had pulsed with life. Sadness filled her, though she had never known this place, but even as she mourned it, the memory faded, and she was Diana again. The creatures were gone, and the stones of the circle gleamed with threads of silver radiance. Freed from the touch of the hateful place on the other side of the veil, their healing power seeped into the earth. Diana felt it spreading into the landscape, carried through rock and root to the very bones of the world. "The night's work is done," she said. "The way is sealed." She turned to where the moon's reflection shimmered in the waters of the lake. It beckoned to her, its irresistible pull lodged deep into her soul as it drew her ever onwards. "But there is always another night's work," said Diana. Ooh, okay, yes. I'm happier now. I will say, though, the author of this, really obsessed with the word flesh. Like a very overused amount of the word flesh. Oh, okay, I will hydrate. You fell asleep while waiting. Oh my goodness, bloob bloob. But yeah, lots of the word flesh. Like a crazy amount of the word flesh in this story. It's actually a bit alarming. Like, I really liked it. I will say the writing style of this one is a bit jarring. I'm pretty hyperlexical, and some of the word choices stand out. If you're going to use a really wide variety of vocabulary, I feel like you should be using it the whole way through, not just randomly chucking a couple of cool fantasy sounding words in. And I did find that a little awkward. I enjoyed the story, but I would have preferred if it had been consistently written with advanced vocabulary or consistently written as a simple story, not this kind of weird mismatch. But other than that, I give it a good score. It's given us a bit more depth. Who not like flesh? I didn't say I didn't like flesh, I just said there was too much flesh. I will say, it's just a very long fight scene. They haven't really given us any more information about Diana. So in terms of like building her lore, we're really just repeating again that she big power. She like moon, right? There's not really much more story to it than that, but it is pretty cool, pretty badass of her. Just because there's more flesh to love. Blue, what the fuck? Why? Why? Yeah, so I feel like we can probably move on. So there's one more thing I want to show you in terms of text stuff. I want to talk about Rise with Me. And this is where we're probably going to have some stuff to talk about with Diana, right? This is where I think the Diana talk is going to get serious, okay? Now, I have been told, please correct me, chat, if I am wrong, that Diana was the first, well, I guess joint first, canonically lesbian League of Legends character. But so far, her lore reads with has the and then they were roommates kind of story to it, right? You cannot, based on her lore, say that she is canonically lesbian because it literally lists them as friends. So I'm hoping that somewhere in Rise with Me, it's going to become blindingly obvious lesbians, because League is very guilty of this. League is very guilty of, we've made these characters gay, but they were just roommates. Wink. Wink. Right? Wink. They had a lifelong, they were lifelong bachelors, is like the League way of saying it. And up until Arcane, I assumed that was going to be League forever. It was going to be lots of wink. But I am reliably informed it is canonically lesbian, so I'm assuming Rise with Me makes it undeniably truly so, in which case we getting lesbians, guys. We getting lesbians. So let's take a look at Rise with Me. If this is a and then they were roommates kind of scenario, I'm gonna be mad, right? You can't say canonically lesbian if you refer to them as friends or sisters or roommates, right? You've got to actually make them lesbonyms, okay? You can't be like, oh yeah, they're canonically lesbian because they were roommates. Annie. Okay. I'm excited, guys. We might have to interrupt the reading of this because I may get like too pleased with this, because this makes me pleased. So, Rise with Me. Here, upon the great mountain, the beloved of the sun sing to her the song of love and devotion, of battle and glory. The golden sun, her light ever shining, bathes our faces in warmth and scorches our enemies, burning them to holy ash. Yet even the radiant sun must rest, and so we are left without her, cold and naked and alone, at the mercy of those who stalk in the dark. We mourn for her as she slumbers, knowing she never wishes to part from us, the last wink of twilight, her fading farewell kiss. Yet the night we would miss her most dearly, the darkness long and bitter. We persuade her to stay longer and dance with us to her own music. Twilight's kiss extended, a roaring flame that thaws through winter's grasp. The sun stays awake all through the night, whispering her sweet secrets until the dawn. We battle the full darkness for her, for the love she bears us, and we gaze upon her glory as we show her our own. Ooh, religious text. Hymn of the Dawn. Tablet 16, lines 33 to 60. Religious text. Okay. Missive from the High Office of the Candescent Priestess Thalea, 40 towards the Nadir. Okay. Let's read about the missive. To all those faithful youths who reside within the Temple of Auroral Triumph, the journey of the sun takes her farther away from us each day as winter descends upon the mountain once again. Yet as the days grow ever shorter, we do not respond in fear. Instead, we prepare for the festival of the Nightless Eve, now a mere 40 rises hence. Acolytes may notice that this festival, the temple should be using a different holy lantern glass to light the first sunspark torch than we have in the past. We offer our gratitude to Sunforger Lasur for creating a sacred object that will outshine its predecessor. However, we condemn the actions of the Even Cursed who broke the temple's lantern class last solstice and encourage any knowledge of this deed to come forth. Those of you who are of age to receive your first shield are required to attend the Nightless Eve and show the sun your worthiness through dance and song. You may attend in a dirge should you wish to witness the glory of the sunrise with another acolyte. Only through our devotion may the darkness be kept at bay. Basically, it's got it. Okay. These people, man. I love some religious texts, but missives from, like, essentially the schoolmistress. Scary. Okay. So far, we're getting the idea they love the sun. They're mad at people who don't like them loving the sun. You can bring a date to your Love the Sun festival. All right, before we continue, it is time for our ad break, so I will see you on the other side. Hello, my name is JustChatting, and you might know me from such classics as Kidnapping Filipinos, Platonic Men in My Basements, and my iconic attempts at scuff-free streams. Wow! Yes, you heard it, scuff-free streams. After many years of work, tireless effort, I have created a product that can scuff-free streams and sprays it right in your face. So if you are fed up of scuffed streams, chatters saying such things as, "Have you tried turning it off and on again? Your mic is muted. Your mic is muted. Your mic is muted. Game volume too loud. Model lagging. And more. Then please purchase Scuff Be Gone. Scuff Be Gone is the product you can spray in your face and never have to worry about scuff ever again. Scuff Be Gone's retail price varies from region to region and has an excessive price gouging addition. No guarantees are made of Scuff Be Gone's ability to actually remove scuff. Hello guys, we're back from ad break. I hope you are well rested. I hope you've got yourself a little drinky drink if you need one, and I hope you are ready for us finishing some of this lore dive. So, let us continue. Let us pray. Letter from Initiate Priestess Elsene to an acolyte formerly in her care, 38 toward the nadir. Day blessed Diana. Your instructor's sun-sworn Princess Nemia has brought troubling information to my attention in the hopes I might exert influence on your future actions. It would seem as though you are beginning to voice doubt in our teachings. It is good to sharpen your understanding by asking questions, but it is unacceptable to suggest that your instructors are not well versed in the sacred texts. You must show deference to those who have studied longer and harder, who are trying to impart their wisdom and faith unto you, even if you disagree with their conclusions. I know you understand that your instructors are but mortal, but as you are, as I am, and that none of us can fully understand her glory, but this is not something you should ever express to others at the temple, not unless or until you have made your initiate vows. The priestesses of Nemia's rank will be unwilling to discuss this nuance with acolytes only 14 years of age, and instead will be inclined to issue punishment. For now I urge caution and silent contemplation. Do not engage further if you do not believe you can do so respectfully. Perhaps this is contributing to the lack of warmth you feel for the other acolytes, and that they feel for you. It is difficult to burden oneself with friendship of another who has earned the wrath of her instructors. I saw this even when you were under my tutelage last year, after your quarrel with Initiate Priestess Nysinde. Here I urge you to let your inner light shine through as brilliantly as I have seen in our private discussions. The other acolytes will come around. I will converse with sun-sworn Priestess Nemia about reinstating your speaking privileges during oratory class if you swear to me that you will follow my advice. Otherwise, I will not speak for you. In the light, Initiate Priestess Elsene. Okay, so not everyone was completely opposed to what she was saying. Then some people kind of were just like, dude, time and a place. Time and a place. Which is valid as an educator. It is valid that sometimes students need to be reminded that you don't need to argue with everyone. Some people you're not going to win that argument with, and you should pick your fights. And it's valid. That's a valid issue to bring up with kids. Or adults, I'm noticing more and more. More and more. More and more I'm noticing adults can't handle it. Okay. Diary of Diana, Ward of the Rakor, 38 toward the Nadir. Apparently, asking Nemya about why we call night the darkness was a step too far. But it's not dark at night, not completely. There is a gentler light, not hot and burning, but cool like a stream in summertime, that shines alongside the stars and illuminates my path when I walk the grounds. Why then do we only speak of the sun? What is this other ethereal being? Why is the sun's light the only one we are supposed to see? Okay, we see the stars, that's true, because the sun is a star. But she's like a moon worshipper, and the moon doesn't have any light. I'm kind of annoyed by this. The moon does not produce its own light. I would never bring that up in the oratory, though. Not when Nemya has proclaimed that I am to hold my tongue for the remainder of my time in her charge, for being disruptive and disrespectful and whatever. Fine. Let the other acolytes spout pretty poems when they try to make a convincing argument and repeat the same verses over and over and over until I throw up my hands in defeat and beg the instructor to let me tear them and their flimsy conclusions apart. Today, we were supposed to discuss the upcoming festival. So Sabina gave a little speech about how excited she is to celebrate her first nightless eve with the other shield-aged. That was it. The whole argument. The entire point of view was, won't this be fun? Ugh. This is what Nemya has to work with, and she chooses to punish me instead. Leona volunteered to get up and argue against it, but how can you argue against I feel an emotion? She could only combat it with having a different emotion, one of exhaustion or trepidation about serving the sun the right way or something. It wasn't what I'd call captivating oration, but at least she tried. And she mentioned something about the darkness being somber, not evil, but somber, which is not actually the same thing at all, and that caught my attention. So I tried to speak after Leona and started by asking my question about the darkness. It was meant to be rhetorical. I didn't even have the chance to talk about how the festival is just a way to reinforce how people already feel about celebrating the sun, and how it is a ritual designed to subjugate us to orthodoxy instead of pursuing our own relationship with her. But apparently even that is too much for Nemya. Just because she has blessed us with light and sight doesn't mean the priesthood wants us to see things for what they really are. I can't be the first person to ever ask these questions, can I? More tomorrow. The stars have come out again, lit by that silvery glow. D. Okay, I'm kind of vibing with her. I think I was that annoying as a teenager. Oh, she's drawn stars in her diary. Look at that. Adorable. Okay. Letter from a devoted daughter, 37 towards the Nadir. My day-blessed parents, I pray that my letter finds you both well, and that young Idanel and Caspina are healthy and happy. I respect your desire for more correspondence, and so I write to you today with nothing much to say, certainly nothing of great import. The instructors have begun their lessons on the nightless eve. I look forward to this shift in our waking hours as I and the other shield-aged prepare to face the darkness together. To Mother's question, I do not yet know whether I will attend in the company of another acolyte, nor whether I wish to do so. I understand that you doubt my honesty in these matters, Mother, but truly none have yet caught my eye. I assure you that you needn't ask further, and that I will tell you plainly should that answer change. Oh, I performed admirably on the War Games field this past week. Our trainer, Initiate Priestess Nysinde, praised me highly and asked the others to observe my footwork and swordsmanship. She has said that my shield suits me, though I must learn to use it in support of my allies on the field, not simply as a means to protect myself. I take her tutelage seriously and have asked Hytrope and Sabina to continue to train with me after our schooling is finished for the day. I expect to continue to improve. My academic pursuits are going well, although I feel I am lacking in my oration skills. I have spoken with Sunsworn Priestess Nemya, and she says that I am well on my way. Yet on this I do not agree with her. I do not mean to say that I am disrespecting my instructors, more that I wish to better my skills, and it does not appear that sun-sworn priestess Nemia will offer any additional support. There is a girl in my oratory class whose arguments are concise and well constructed, but her views and lines of thought do not always connect to what the instructors have taught. Yet she is always well prepared, and other acolytes find their arguments fall to pieces under her scrutiny. Perhaps she is someone I could approach for assistance in this matter. I know you believe me capable of becoming a leader, and I will not fail you in this. In the love of her light, Leona. Oh my goodness. Okay, so they're being typical teens. Typical teeny teens. Got it, got it. Notes passed between Leona, daughter of the Sunforgers, and Diana, ward of the Rakor, 35 towards the Nadir. Day bless Diana. Are you often busy after our middle Rakoric instruction? I sense that I am not doing as well in oratory as I could be, and humbly ask that you help me to grow my skills in constructing and delivering convincing arguments. In the light, Leona. Why do you ask for my help? I am no longer invited to speak during class, so why would you want to learn from someone whose arguments our instructors have deemed worthless? Perhaps you should ask Sabina or that other girl you train with. They have shown themselves to be loyal companions who would do anything to help you succeed. Diana. The content of your arguments notwithstanding, you are more skilled at constructing the logic behind them than anyone else in our year, and likely in our temple. You have heard some of the end-of-year debates and presentations that the old acolytes have made in years past, have you not? I believe you are better suited to train me in this than any of them. I know your time is limited, so I would not ask that you spend much of it on me, but I would greatly appreciate if you could look over my notes before our next rhetorical exercise and help me grasp what it is I am not yet understanding. And please know that I do not ask this lightly. If there is anything you are struggling with, anything I can do to assist where you need it, I pledge myself to it in return. In the light, Leona. Okay, so they're begrudgingly asking for tutoring. Okay. Diary of Diana, ward of the Rakor, 35 toward the Nadir. I am shocked that Leona came to me, and I'm still not certain that this isn't some kind of joke. But it isn't as though I have any of my own oratory lessons to work on, so I agreed to help her. Obviously, we won't be meeting in person. I don't want any of the instructors to look down on Leona for asking the resident heretical loner for help, nor any of our fellow acolytes. I doubt they would turn on her, not when she is the golden child of our War Games cohort. But they might still mock her, laugh at her, and I don't want that to happen to her. Not when she was brave enough, I suppose, humble enough to approach me. It is refreshing to have someone admit when they are not the best at everything, and I confess that it is a surprise coming from her. Maybe I've just never seen Leona fail at something before. And I like the idea of having someone to talk to sometimes, even if it's someone who believes with the fullness of their heart in everything we are taught here. If associating with me were to lose her the respect she has earned from so many, then what reason would she have to keep talking to me? D. And she's done a little sketchy sketch of Leona. That's kind of cool. So she's artsy. Diana's artsy is the general gist we're getting, I guess. She's creative and feisty. Still, okay, we're still only halfway through. Maybe the lesbianism is yet to come. They're still only teenagers. Letter from a temple instructor to old friends, 21 toward the Nadir. Most day-blessed Melia and Lissa. Thank you again for your generous gift to the temple. Your work, Lissa, as always, is sublime. The Candescent Priestess asked that I extend you both an invitation to join us for our Nightless Eve celebration. 21 rises hence to see your lantern glass at work. I do understand that caring for 2 young children makes that difficult, but perhaps you could bring them just to see the lighting of the sunspark torches. I have spoken with all of Leona's instructors this year, and I am pleased to report that your daughter has risen to the top of all of her educational pursuits. She has taken to tutoring some of the other acolytes in my middle Rakoric class with their vocabulary and vertenses. Her dedication to the sun is visible in everything she does, and her commitment to excellence is commendable. I observed her performance in the wargame skirmish, and she has quickly become a leader on the battlefield, even among the older acolytes. I know you would be proud. However, there is something to be said about taking the time to appreciate the life the sun has blessed us with. After the skirmish, one of Leona's teammates asked if she had interest in attending the Festival of Nightless Eve together. Leona denied any such interest in the other girl and went off with her evening studies. I worry that Leona might be overly focused on achievement and will miss this opportunities to delight in the sun's gifts and truly enjoy the closeness to her light that her time at the temple should bring to her. It is my hope that you will speak to her on this matter. In the light, Sunsworn Priest Polyminus. Oh, hey, Koro. Do you have in cargo shorts today? What? What? Sure. Yes. I don't know where this is going. Are you wearing cargo shorts? No, I am not. Why would... Wait, what? Is this some young person internet meme I'm not familiar with? Avocados are stone fruits. Yak, what is it with you and this with this avocado fact problems? You got issues, Yakasaurus. Why aren't you wearing cargo shorts? I don't know. You haven't had... No, now I'm really self-conscious that I'm too old to understand this, Kuro. You've come here and you've made me feel old. You've come to my stream and now you're making me feel like a crazy old lady. Do I have to go buy cargo shorts now? Or am I not supposed to buy cargo shorts? I don't even know. Also, what are cargo shorts? I mean, I know. Oh, are they the shorts with all the pockets in them? Is that all cargo shorts are? Think of all the pockets, think of all the space. Kuro, are you all right? Do we need to send help? Is that something that needs to happen? Don't girl pant not have pocket? What? I don't need pockets. I have men to carry things for me, Kuro. I need something carried. I say, Astral, carry this for me. Thank you. Exactly. Exactly. As a husband, you are bound to wear... Wait. Did you just call me a husband, Yak? What are you... What? What? Why do other VTubers have, like, chats full of simps, and I just got called a husband? What the fuck? Where are my simps at? Where are my simps? Depends on the Astro. Yeah, what? Now you're just slandering Astro too. You're just being abusive to us both. You just come here and be a dick. Is that what you do now? Is that what you do, Yakasaurus? You have one shrimp. I glitched Astral. Astral is not much of a cargo short guy, no. I feel like the first clue that Astral is not a cargo short guy might be the fact that I'm with him. That's your style, cargo shorts, I see. Oh Lord. I'm sorry, Astral. I don't know where the abuse is coming from tonight. I was just saying yesterday how sweet it is that my chat is so kind to Astral. You guys are really letting the side down. You're letting the side down. Who do I ban first? Poor Astral, I'm sorry. I don't know why you're catching strays. Normally he just comes here to abuse me, but I guess now you are enough entwined with me you count as well, sadly. There is no way Astral could ever have an OnlyFans. Can you imagine the Gasai girl's partner having an OnlyFans? That would be a very bad idea. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? I'd have to kill so many people. And I'm busy. Like, I just don't got time for that. Okay, Sola, okay. There's no need. What are you doing, girl? Get back on camera, be cute. Make me money. That's what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be earning your rent. Yeah, that's it. Show your belly. Show your belly, girl. That's what they want. Give the people what they want. You wish you could... I bet you could rock a skirt, Kuro. You live the life of your dreams, okay? You get that skirt on and you enjoy it. Astral, as you're back, mostly defending yourself, I need you to tell me that when I scroll down, there's going to be lesbians. Because this has all been disappointingly heterosexual so far. I was promised lesbians, and there has not been lesbians yet. You can't promise me lesbians and then not provide. Come on. There will be. There better be, Astral. You can't promise me lesbians and then not provide them. Just a few more How many teenage girl diary entries do I have to read before I get to lesbians? Welcome to the League Lore Deep Dive, Clown Fiesta. We're continuing to hunt for lesbians. My name is Jihei. Lesbian. Lesbian. Two more. You have opened this up to double check, haven't you, Astral? Because you fear the consequences. You fear the consequences. Journal of Leona, daughter of Sunforgers. I don't think that Riot have gone that far with League. But you never know. You never know, Kuro. We might be about to uncover it. Journal of Leona, daughter of the Sunforgers, 17 toward the Nadir. How could I ask someone to attend the festival with me? A note, is that too childish? Not straightforward enough? Lots of notes as it is. But I love getting notes from her. She always takes time to answer, always very thoughtful and smart. Ask her to take a walk with me when I have skirmishes every night this week. Flowers, I don't know if she likes flowers, which flowers she likes. A meal, never shared a meal together, might be too public. What if the meal is gross, bad omen? Offer to train her with a shield. She doesn't use her shield much. That could be work. Or maybe I've given up even reading it nicely. I have given up. Look, all of my premium rate phone line voice is gone now. Maybe she doesn't like using a shield. That's what I should do. Kuro, I'm doing some League tier lists coming up. I'm guessing I should do that as a tier list for you. That part of the lore's been retconned. Okay. Okay. Debate some scripture. Okay. Astral, I'm going to be clear that these are already disappointing lesbians because this girl wants to ask someone out by debating scripture with them. Good chance to talk in person, get to see her best, be brilliant, try to impress her, maybe tell her you need help with a big project for oratory. No, she's in the same class as you. This is stupid. Pray together. Me? Wait, did we establish I'm circumcised? I don't really remember where we got up to in that. I'm pretty sure I kept you up to date with the adventures of Jake, Astral. I think I'm now an undescended testicle. Or am I a descended testicle? I don't even know anymore. I don't even know what type of testicle. Boo, Eliona. Astral, I'm gonna be honest with me. If you ever suggest we pray together for a date, you might find yourself single. Ask her if she already has plans. Be casual. Doesn't have to be more than friends. She probably doesn't want to go alone. What if she's already going with someone? Who would she go with? Okay, we're getting into lesbians now. Your English, isn't that like the law or something? What? Isn't what the law? Having a foreskin. I'm so confused. I'm so confused. Tell her I don't have a companion. This is not a terrible option. This is kind of what my diary reads like. Maybe I should read some of my diary on stream. But this bit here is kind of my diary. So bad. Don't ask, just see her there and ask to dance with you. Also not a terrible option. Why is this so hard? Girl, same. Same. I think you should find out and tell us, Kuro. I think you should go find out and report back. It really does seem the only scientific way to go about this problem. Okay, we're back to class notes. I kind of feel like reading this feels weird. I understand why they picked this style for it, but I'm not sure I feel cool about reading teenage girls' diaries and the notes they pass each other in class. It feels kind of weird. Notes sent between Leona, daughter of Sunforgers, and Diana, ward of the Rakor, 14 toward the Nadir. Leona, some thoughts on your last argument. Your thesis. This is... I am faced with an ethical ember where am I intended to had a quiz of black fresh. Kuro, are you okay? Because, like, I mean... Do you need us to send you some help? Like, should we be worried about you right now? Your thesis was concise and easy to understand, and even Sabina seemed to follow your logic. I really liked how you threaded in some star-sun hypothesis that connected surprisingly well to your argument a few weeks ago on the sun's gifts in the sky. I could tell Nimue was impressed. Well done. You compared the sun's light and life to cold darkness, but you weren't able to say exactly what about the darkness is bad. Is it the absence of warmth? If so, is winter bad? Is cold water bad? Is the absence of life? Mount Targon itself is not alive. Is that bad? You need better examples or change your metaphors. You spoke of heretics as those who don't believe in the sun. What does that even mean? It's there in the sky. Are you arguing that some people don't believe it is there at all? I know what you meant, I think, but you should clarify that believing in the sun and believing in our scripture are not exactly the same. Or you should speak of worshipping the sun rather than believing in it. Moreover, how do you know enough to assume that restricted tablets say about our people's history? The instructors have only offered summaries, and hearsay is what they mean. But unless you have quotations, you're only working off of theories, not truths. I would hold off on arguing anything about the restricted tablets until you've seen them after initiation rites. Your point about the everlasting day was good, as was your argument in favour of the shadow theory, but you didn't follow them through to a strong conclusion. Celebrating both the everlasting day and nightless eve as triumphs of the sun means what about the creation of shadows? Are they mortal creations or that of the sun? But yes, you're definitely improving. Can you feel it when you're up there on the dais, Diana? This is the only way I know how to communicate. Oh, that's crazy. I do miss you too. I love you too, Kuro. Get some sleep, though. Goodbye forever's a bit extreme, but nice. It was good to see you again too. Goodbye forever. So dramatic. So dramatic. I'll be really sad now if it's actually goodbye forever. Kuro's just about to disappear off the face of the earth. This was actually a serious goodbye forever and I didn't realize. Beep, 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 beep. Okay. This better go where it's supposed to be going. Danny, yes, I can definitely feel it. It's as though the sun's righteousness flows through me. I can feel her warmth grow in my cheeks the longer I speak. I wish our classes were held outdoors, even in winter chill, so she could hear me. I very much appreciate your notes. Thank you for taking the time to write them down, and thank you again for all your guidance in this matter. I would not be improving so steadily if it were not for you, but I do have further questions. Everything in my argument was researched. I have the citations for every piece of the hymn and the writings of the philosophers and temple scholars. I don't believe any of my conclusions were unique. Maybe the way I connected some different pieces was. But none of the works I cited answered the questions or attempted to answer the questions that you ask in your critique. What is it about the darkness that is evil? It's not about why. It's never been about why. It just is. Why do you think I need to go deeper than that when it's widely known already? Also, I noticed that you haven't been practicing your shield very often in the skirmishes. It's taken me some time, especially since they're so large and unwieldy, but I'm starting to better understand how to use it in battle. Would you like to practice together if you have time? ITL, Leona. Leona, if it's so widely known and so widely agreed upon, don't you think you should dig deeper? Who agreed upon this? When? Why? Why are there some things we have collectively decided to take for granted as truth? You asked me to take a look at your argument and help you structure it better. That's all I'm trying to do here. If the argument can't be structured well based on canon and orthodox thought, or at least the canon as we know it, then maybe the underlying assumptions are wrong or don't make sense. Maybe the restricted tablets answer all of these questions, but maybe they don't. I don't know because we're not allowed to read them. It's so frustrating. That's why I tried to base my arguments on what we do have access to and ask for clarification where the text doesn't give us any. But you did a lot better this time than last time around. I can't wait to see your next oration. Let me know if you believe you will want my assistance beforehand or if you'd rather surprise me with your arguments. And thank you for the offer, but I don't think I'll ever be able to successfully wield the shield. It's too distracting and weighs me down too much to focus on my attack. And besides, as long as I'm on your team, I know at least one person's defending me. Diana. Wow. Letter from Sunsworn Priestess Nemia to a Shining Pupil 12 toward the Nadir. Bless Leona. I want to commend you on your improvement these past few weeks. Already you were debating well, but clearly you have dedicated yourself even further to this work and it shines through you. Apologies for the interruption during your oration today. You know that I and the Candescent Priestess will be dealing with it. Do not concern yourself over it as you continue your path toward excellence and toward her light. In her blessed warm, Sunsworn Priestess Nemia. Disciplinary account, 12 towards the Nadir. I, Sunsworn Priestess Nemia, provide an accounting of the actions of Acolyte Diana, Ward of the Rakor, and the penance she faces in response. Acolyte Diana interrupted a fellow Acolyte's presentation after having been instructed weeks ago to remain silent during class. When she was told to quiet down and follow the oration to continue, she instead attempted a rebuttal to the other Acolyte's argument. In a blasphemous furor, Diana suggested that the light does not belong entirely to the realm of the glorious sun. May the even curse be forever kept at bay. In doing so, she has poisoned the mind of every shield-aged acolyte in the class with dangerous heretical thought. After I spoke with Candescent Priestess Thalea, a decision as to Diana's penance was reached. Diana will spend 3 days standing in the light of the sun with neither shade nor water until the sun sleeps for the night to remind her of the sun's merciful judgment. I feel like that's going to do the opposite of making her feel mercy. Right? Diary of Diana, Ward of the Rakor, 11 toward the Nadir. The sun is not a loving, life-giving mother to us all. She is a hateful, burning with malice, and she aims to drive us all underground to avoid her scorching light. I don't really think that, but it doesn't feel like she loves me. I have my 3rd day of punishment tomorrow. I can only hope for clouds or rain, snow, anything. My skin is red and raw, and I just want to sleep. But it was worth it. That debate with Leona is probably the closest we will ever come to talking in public, and we got to do it on our terms. I didn't even bring up the light that pierces the darkness at night. I didn't have time before Nemia dragged me off to Thalea for her retribution. I wonder what they would have done if I had. I hate everyone here. I don't want to celebrate anything with any of them. I don't want their lying smiles and their celebrated glares boring holes through me. Instead of going to Nightless Eve, I'll just climb. Get someplace higher than this. Maybe look at the stars. Watch the nighttime light. Besides, the only person I would want to go with would never want to be seen with me. Not after this kind of public penance. Probably not before it either, so I have nothing to lose. D. Hey, we're getting some drawings of Leona. Okay, now we're getting the vibes. Okay. I don't hate everyone, but not everyone is kind with a shining smile and gleaming heart, and not everyone sees me as worth anything. Their time, their attention. But I'm sure she doesn't see me as worth anything anymore. Journal of Leona, daughter of Sunforgers, 7 toward the Nadir. Why I should pick someone to go to the festival with? 6 different people have asked me and I've turned them all down. I don't want people to think I'm uptight. I am fun, ? Oh no. Sabina and Hyterope believe that I have a secret companion. My parents might be in attendance and they want me to be more social. It's only a week away. But I know who I want to go with. Would it be a good idea, though? Diana just finished her penance and no one is being very kind to her, even though I'm the one who let her speak. I wanted to watch her deconstruct my points and ask me questions and to answer them with my list of citations. The sun would earn mercy, but I don't expect her to ever gain favor with the priesthood again. Would going with her make everyone treat me the same way? Does that matter? Is she worth it? She doesn't care what others think about her. Why should I? She gets this look when she thinks she's right, when she's won her argument, and the sun's light shines her eyes and her smile, and she wears triumph like a crown, and it's just magnificent. Okay, I've made up my mind. Letter from Candescent Priestess Thalea to a disciplined acolyte's parents. 5 towards the Nadir. I am writing to inform you that your daughter Leona was involved in a fight with another acolyte. It did not, to the best of my knowledge, get physical. I only arrived at the end of the altercation and did not hear what it was they fought over. Both girls were spoken to, but neither took me into her confidence as to what started the fight. There will be a measure of penance meted out to both girls. With her light cast over the world, Candescent Priestess Thalea. Excerpt from the Diary of Diana, Ward of the Recall. 5 toward the Nadir. But the moment I told Leona I would not be attending the Nightless Eve, her eyes dimmed, as though I told her I was embracing the darkness in my heart. And knowing me, knowing what I've been through, she asks, why not? That's when I realized, oh, she's proselytizing. Apparently, all of this time we've spent writing notes to one another has given Leona the idea that I am available to be preached at, converted to full believer, made to see the light. She asked for my help because she thought she could help me. So I got angry. I yelled. I'm not proud of it, but I couldn't help it. I'm just glad I didn't cry. I should have known that's all this was, all it ever was. Luckily, I was not the only one who got into trouble this time. Golden Child Leona had to perform penance too, but they wouldn't make her stand out in the sun for days on end. Instead, we'll have to scrub all floors across the temple, even the priesthoods. I wonder if an instructor may have asked her to intervene on the sun's behalf. If that's all I am to her, a heretic able to be swayed back onto the path, then she and her lousy arguments can rot and fail oratory for all I care. Journal of Leona, daughter of the Sunforgers, 5 toward the Nadir. Why I should never have asked Diana to go to the festival with me. She looked disgusted that I would even ask if she was going. She started yelling at me publicly. We both got in trouble and now I have to miss skirmishes to scrub floors. She doesn't care about celebrating the sun. She's practically a heretic. She probably wouldn't even dance if she did go. Now she'll never write to me again. I should have just said yes to somebody else. Letter from disappointed parents to their daughter, 2 toward the Nadir. Day blessed Leona. Your mother and I are displeased to hear of both your penance obligations and your disappointing performance at your last skirmish. We know that you are capable of better and expect you to rise to the occasion. Leaders in her light do not run into impediments that they cannot overcome, nor do they get hindered by such earthly mischief as a shouting match at school. We will be in attendance at the opening ceremony for the Nightless Eve 2 days hence, and will speak with you about how better to secure your future then. In the love of her light, Father. Diary of Diana, Ward of the Rakor. One toward the Nadir. I am beside myself with rage. She wasn't trying to preach to me. She was asking me to go with her to the festival. Ugh, Diana, you are such a fool. Missive from the High Office of the Candescent Priestess Thalea, the Nadir. To our shield-aged and above, may you have a joyful festival of the Nightless Eve, and may you forever bask in her ending love and warmth. Our celebration begins at twilight. Be sure to dress appropriately in your formal temple garb. With her light cast over the world, Candescent Priestess Thalea. Letter from Leona, daughter of the Sunforgers, to her parents. Unsent. 174 towards the zenith. My day-blessed parents, glory to you both in the light of the sun, and how many days goes long as we know her love once more. I know you expected to see me at the celebration, and I wanted to explain why I wasn't at the start of the, I'm sure you're wondering, I missed the first half of the festival. Diary of Diana, Ward of the Rakor, 174 towards the zenith. I cannot believe I am writing these words, now with my fingers still trembling, and have them be the truth. It is unthinkable, unfathomable, and yet it happened. I watched the others get ready for Nightless Eve in their mantles and their veils and their armor, and I didn't. I took my warmest robe and slipped out the door to the Acolyte's hearth, past the temple palisade, and out into the wilderness. There is little above the temple that was made by human hands on the lower peaks of the mountain. It is supposed to be where we go to feel closest to the sun. So I went up and looked for a good place to sit and watch the sky. I witnessed the setting of the sun and the sky growing dark and the sun-sparked torches burning brightly below on the temple grounds. Even from up there, I could feel the horrible heat. My skin remembers the burn from my penance. But looking up at the night sky, at the darkness, at the stars, at the beautiful glow above, I could forget about that for a little while. I know it was wrong. I know I shouldn't have done it, but that glow, that soft silvery light from above, made me feel at peace for the first time in forever. I don't even know how long. I didn't feel worried about the instructors or the festival below or what would happen when they realized I wasn't present. Even now, I just remembering there and looking up, I feel a calm settle over me. It was everything that everyone says the sun should be. So I offered her a short prayer. None of the elaborate things we do when we prostrate ourselves at the noontide. Just a few simple words of thanks. I won't repeat them here. I don't want to cheapen them. That's when I heard Leona calling for me. Continued letter from Leona unsent. I realize now that after paying such penance as she had, Diana would not find the festival as exciting as I and the other acolytes did. She did not berate me for asking her to accompany me. She berated me for bringing it up at all. It was your letter, actually, that made me push past my own pain and reflect upon that moment more sincerely. Upon reflection, I decided to find her and apologize. I knew where she wouldn't be, but not where she would go, so I searched for her, first within the temple grounds, then without. I'd never seen Diana out at night before. She goes a painful pink if she is outside for too long under the sun's glory. But here, cloaked in darkness, she looked like she belonged to the night, but not in a bad way. How could it be, when it's the same color as her hair, her eyes? She asked me why I was there. Wasn't I supposed to be down at the festival with the others? She looked at me with, I'm not sure, fear maybe? Apprehension, at the least. Disappointment stole the words from my lips, and I remained silent. I could only gaze at her. Then she asked if someone had told me to bring her back to the temple, to the festival. I shook my head and croaked out an apology for making her upset, for getting both of us in trouble. She stared back at me and then shook her head and apologized to me for the same thing. I wanted to laugh, but things still felt too fragile for that, and I did not want to break this moment. This was, I realized, the first time we had ever spoken with no one else around. She gestured for me to join her, so I did. We sat together, closer than we'd ever been to one another before. Our arms brushed, and she flinched away like she'd been burnt. "So you're not going to the festival at all?" she asked. Maybe not exactly that, but something like that. And I said something like, "I don't know, it depends." My heart was beating hard in my throat as she leaned her head against my shoulder, but she didn't seem to notice. She looked up then at the sky and smiled. I don't think I'd ever felt so happy before. I'm not sending this letter. Continued Diary of Diana. We relaxed together under the light of the night for hours. I lost track of time. I wanted so badly to point to the glow above us, to ask her what she thought, if that made her think about the sun and her light any differently. But instead we sat beside one another and looked up together. At some point there was a cloud that darkened the sky, and I could see the light from the torches reflecting off of it. I still didn't want to go to the festival, but I know how important this sort of thing is to Leona, and she'd stayed with me for ages without complaint. So I asked her if she wanted to dance with me down at the festival. I expected her to say no, but a smile broke across her face bigger than I'd ever seen her smile before. I wanted to draw it, but I don't know if I can capture its brilliance. She grabbed my hand and said, and I will never forget this as long as I breathe. She said, "Not yet." And Leona kissed me. And I kissed Leona. That's cute. Oh, that's hecking cute. Oh my god, that's such a cute love story. What the heck? We're not reading the last hymn, but that's so freaking cute. Ugh. That is painfully cute. What the fudge? The fudge. Okay, we're just going to take a quick look at some Diana concept art. Okay, that's mad cool. Okay, I actually prefer this kind of, I guess more mortal looking Diana than this. I don't like the slicked back hair on Diana. I think that's what I don't like. I think they've gone from like the crescent of the moon is the artistic idea. This is cool. I think I just like her with short hair. Is that weird? So pretty. I love the moon on the face part. That is the crazy part for me, I guess. Okay. What have we got for loading screens? Whoa, this is cool. Oh, I like this one. She's got some cool skins we're going to see in a minute, I can tell. Okay. All right, let's take a little look at the skinny skins then, guys. That's what we have to do next. So, to the skins. Okay. Default Diana, it's the hair. Everything else is cool, but I just don't like the hair. The Dark Valkyrie Diana, though, seriously. Seriously. 10 out of 10. No complaints about Dark Valkyrie Diana. No complaints. I don't really like the Lunar Goddess one. Again, it's the hair that kind of lets me down. She's just got a bad hairdresser. That's Diana's problem. Okay, Infernal Diana. Okay, I love all the Infernal skins. I will say this is one of my least favorite Infernal skins, but I do love them all. But then I also love Red and Fire, so of course I love them all. That's just a given. Blood Moon's okay. I would say it's like a neutral Diana for me. Dark Waters Diana. Ah, the pirate lady. It's okay. It just doesn't feel very Diana-y. Dragon Slayer Diana is kind of cool. I think some of these themes, because they're so far from Diana, they just don't feel like her. Okay, this is crazy. This I like. Battle Queen Diana is kick-ass. I like Battle Queen Diana, even with the stupid pink bow. Is the Prestige less stupid? No, it's just gold stupid. Okay, so I don't like the bow. But the rest of this, yes. Yes. 10 out of 10. Oh my god. Cosplay? Guys? Cosplay? Jihei cosplay? Jihei cosplay? Cosplay Jihei? Yes? Yes, yes. Cosplay Jihei time? Yes? We agree? I should cosplay? Cosplay Jihei? Yes, yes, yes. Cosplay Jihei? Jihei cosplay? Okay. Which one was that? Sentinel Diana. Firecracker Diana just doesn't look anything like Diana, so... Okay. Oh! Oh, I like Winter Blessed Diana too. Look at that. Okay, okay, okay. I see a few potential cosplays here. I see some. Heaven Scale Diana. Okay, Heaven Scale Diana's pretty cool too. Oh my... How are all of her skins kind of cool? Pretty much. I want to be mean and sassy and say something sarcastic, but I actually like these. That's kick-ass. I would totally body paint up for this one too. Definitely. And the Prestige one's kind of boring, actually. Comparatively. No? Just me? They're just like, okay, this is just e-girl. This, badass. This, alright, e-girl. No? Just me? Maybe? Maybe? The e-girlification? Not my thing. It's not my thing, guys. It's not my thing. Okay, so let's take a look at Diana. So we're going to do our little quick combat review and then we'll be done for stream today. So she is a fighter assassin, medium difficulty. Bearing her crescent moonblade, Diana fights as a warrior of the Lunari, a faithful but quashed in the lands around Mount Targon. Clad in shimmering armor, the color of winter snow at night, she is a living embodiment of the Silver Moon's power, imbued with the essence of an aspect from beyond Targon's towering summit. Diana's no longer... Okay, right, cool, we get that. She's gonna kick butt. Moon Silver Blade. Okay. Got it. Q is damage. W. Shield that damages. Ooh, I'm actually kind of intrigued to do this one. Okay, let's have a little bit of play on the practice tour with Diana for this stream. Sorry guys, with the diary what we kind of deviated a bit. I'm not a big fan of the kind of diary entry lore stuff that's quite common. It feels very teenage schoolbook for me. That's not me attempting to criticize either. Like, I don't want to be a hater. I don't want to be a hater. I'm just gonna be one. Oh no, my face is being all smug. I need to fix my smug face. Okay. Okay. The game appears to not be loading. Great. Let's fix that. We're gonna have a little ad break anyway, so let's go for a be right back, and yeah, I'll see you for gaming on the other side. I've returned. Uh-oh. Hopefully this is gonna work. Okay, yes, cool. Okay. So we're just gonna play around with Diana. We're not actually trying to be good, we're just kinda playing around. before anyone is like, "Why?"
I speak only truth.
Hello. Yes. Cat. We have cat cam. Okay. We're gonna see what this is like, guys. We're gonna see what this is like.
Minions spawn. They could not break me. I cannot turn back.
Minions have spawned.
Embrace the night. Dusk approaches.
Okay.
Chosen of the moon.
Ooh. Hi.
First blood.
Choice.
An ally has been slain.
My eyes are open. I will be heard.
Ugh. That's weird. It's weird. I don't know how I feel about this.
Executed.
Whoops. Okay, interesting, interesting.
Has been slain. An ally has been slain.
I can't say I feel great about Diana. I feel like I should though. So maybe it's just maybe because I'm EP.
Follow no false light. Blind to the truth.
Yeah, I kind of feel super better about it now. Yeah, I like Diana now. What does a W do? Okay.
I speak only truth. Ignorant thrall.
Okay. What does it E do? Ooh, okay.
Executed.
They could not break me.
An enemy has been slain.
I cannot turn back.
I just want to see an ult before we end stream, man. That's all I want. I guess it's practice tool. I could just get there. No! Cho'Gath bot, man. I'll never forgive you.
You have been slain.
Embrace the night.
Killing spree.
Dusk approaches.
Enemy killing spree.
Bring down the sun.
An enemy has been slain.
They leave me no choice. This is necessary.
No! No! No kill G-Haze! No! God damn it. Wasn't paying attention. I was just tapping. Stupid practice tool.
Enemy rampage.
Okay, there we go. Okay.
Chosen of the moon. Blind to the truth.
You have slain an enemy.
Hey, that actually felt satisfying. You know what, guys? I might actually learn to play Diana. Is that crazy? Am I crazy? I think I might be crazy.
Ignorant thralls. Deny me no longer. No more lies.
Shut down.
This is actually... this has potential. This has potential the same way Chobro top lane has a bit of potential.
Enemy double kill.
Down the sun. They leave me no
Executed.
Alright, we are going to call it there, guys. Thank you so much for joining me for the stream. Remember that the audio recordings of readings and everything will go live within about 48 hours maximum. And I hope you're enjoying watching me slowly learn more and more about League. Today we learned about lesbians. That was the lesson of the day. It's a really interesting piece of lore. I really enjoyed this. I do think it's a little bit bland. I'm being honest. I think this was a little bit bland. I come to League for super hype excitement. I feel like I wasn't necessarily getting super hype excitement, but you know, we did get to the end of stream, so that's something. We are actually going to raid out to the wonderful Glitched Astral, who is currently streaming. I actually don't know what he's streaming. That's pretty horrific. I probably should. Whoops. Don't tell him. Don't tell him I don't know. Don't tell him I don't know. I know exactly what he's streaming for sure, for real, for real. Okay, I definitely know. Let's go.